in the very presence of God. Verse 9 says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap." Didn't say might, didn't say maybe, didn't say perhaps, but we shall reap if we faint not. So the key is not to faint. And so our thought for this message is, don't quit. Don't quit. I don't care what the doctors say. Don't quit. That marriage might be hanging on by a thread, but don't quit. You might be looking for a job, and everywhere you go, they turn you down, but don't quit. If everything you do and nothing seems to be turning out right, don't quit. And so that's our thought for today. Don't quit. And so today we celebrate our ushers. And I want to say to the ushers and to each one of us, don't quit. When I look at the ushers, I think about salt. Salt is silent, but you know it's there because your food tastes better. And the ushers are silent, but we know they're there because the service goes better. Somebody once said that first impressions are lasting impressions. And people have made a decision to join a church based on the way that they were greeted by the usher. And the Bible tells us to be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for some have thereby entertained angels unawares. And you never know who the next person walking through that door may be. Regardless of how they're dressed or how they look, they're entitled to the best of your service. They're entitled to courtesy. They're entitled to dignity. And they're entitled to respect. Now, I do know that all of us, some of us are not easy to serve. But everybody can't be an usher either. Because ushers have to be given to hospitality. Ushers have to be kind. There are times when you're going to have to smile, even when you don't feel good. Always remembering that you're not serving people, you're serving the Lord. And yours is a ministry of hospitality, tending to the care and the comfort of God's house and God's people. And you're part of a rich tradition that began over 2,000 years ago when David organized the temple. David appointed 4,000 of the Levites to be porters. And the porter's job was to stand at the door and to make sure that nothing unclean entered the temple. And before there were even deacons and trustees, it was the porters who took up the free will offering in the church. It was the ushers who were responsible for the chambers and the treasures of God's house. And the ushers were so important that in Ezra 4:7, the Bible says it was unlawful to impose a tax on the porters. In other words, they couldn't even tax the ushers. And so always remember that you're not just ushering people into their seat. You're ushering people into the presence of the Lord. And never underestimate the sacredness of what you're doing and serving in God's house. And so I just want to encourage you this evening with Paul's words when he said, let us not be weary in well-doing. In other words, he said, don't quit. Now when Paul says, let us not be weary, that word weary, it means to faint. It means to get tired. It means to fall by the wayside. But he's talking about more than just getting physically tired. He's talking about it means to lose heart. It means to get tired in your spirit. You know, you can get tired in your spirit, and that'll make you quit. There are times when the demands of life are just too much. There are times when the test is too tough. There are times when the work seems to be too hard. And that's when you will lose heart and lose hope. That's what's happening all over America today. People are getting weary and they're getting tired of waiting for things to change. People are getting tired of waiting to be treated equal. People are getting tired of waiting for better schools and better houses. People are getting tired of waiting for the police to stop killing unarmed black men. People are getting tired of waiting for the powers to be heard. People don't have a confident expectation that things are going to get better, so people are getting weary and giving up. They're quitting doing the right things, and they're beginning to burn neighborhoods and loot stores and saying, can you hear me now? But before we criticize those people, I want us to understand that all of us are candidates for being weary. Job got so weary that he cursed the day that he was born. Jeremiah got so weary he said, I won't speak in his name anymore. Elijah got so weary he went and ran and hid under a juniper tree and asked God to take my life. Solomon, with all his wisdom, got so weary he said that everything is vanity. Even Jesus got weary that night in the garden when he said, if it's possible, remove this cup from me. And there are going to be times when we're going to feel like quitting. But be not weary. Don't lose heart. Don't fall by the wayside. Don't turn back. Don't quit. Well,